one of the things that I developed when I was fire chief in Penargil was an ability to try to maximize the use of our personnel.
Hmm.
Because I don't know about your department, but in daytime fire, if we had four people show up, one of whom could drive, I was in heaven. I thought we could do anything. At the same time, I'm reading fire service articles and books, and they talk about engine company operations and ladder company operations and coordinated attack and vertical ventilation. And I said, well, what do you do if you only have four people? And what do you do then? I mean, the fire, it's the same fire. So we developed a system where we would have it. It took it still took five or six firefighters, but two on the inside, two on the outside, engine operator. If we were lucky, we had an incident commander, but often that incident commander was one of the outside people, and we kind of divvied up the jobs that way. And eventually, I named that single company operations. Coming kind of full circle, I was at FDIC one year, probably 3 years ago, and I was introduced to the slicers concept, the operationalization of the fire dynamics research and the changes in tactics that they've spawned. And the International Society of Fire Service Instructors and Eddie Buchanan, in particular from Virginia, they took all of this information about the value of putting extra lines into fires, the dangers of flow paths, the fact that performing ventilation makes fires burn hotter. They took all of that and they made this nice little acronym called slicers to uh, size up, locate the fire, identify the flow paths, cool from a safe location, then finally extinguish it, and then do rescue and salvage as necessary. And I just thought this was brilliant, and it was they had really taken the science and made it simple. So it inspired me to start the series of blogs on modern fire attack, I call it. And there's plenty of material out there. One of the criticisms is, oh, you can't eliminate risk. And that's true. But there's lots of things that we do that is unnecessary risk. And the, bypassing that window with the flames coming out so that you can go through the door, uh, breaking windows, going up on a roof. I got the most uh, feedback on any column when I talked about. I called it vertical vandalism, and really there is no benefit to cutting a hole in a roof, and lots of downsides. So once the fire is put out, really the ventilation is still important, but it works just as well horizontal. Um, and one of the interesting things to me, and I did a piece on this about slicers, is it kind of put me out of business. I had this single company operations thing, and slicers kind of shot that to heck because it covers all the same thing.
Right.
And we if you operationalize it, one or actually in Virginia they talk about just three members on an engine, and they if this is a fire you need to go into, that you don't have to wait for the two in two out, that there's a high likelihood of entrapped people. They hit it in from the outside to knock it down. If they need to go in immediately, the driver hits it from the outside, and you don't even have to have gear on for that. Just really just or not SCBA anyway, and you hit it while the two members go to the front door, and then you've knocked the fire down.
Right.
The latest research that's come out when they've actually done the interior fire attack combinations just confirm all that. So there was some interesting new things that came with the latest UL stuff, but really the basic principles are there. It's a real solid set of tactics that can be implemented by a crew of old guys or a small crew, and at the same time, they're good tactics. They're not. Uh, I hate people to think that, oh well, you do that if you don't have enough people to go inside. No, you do that anyway. You do that before you go inside.
Yeah.
It's crazy to go inside and wait till you find the fire. I mean, we so much of the stuff we were taught, don't put water on smoke. Well, smoke's pretty hot, and that smoke is 500-600 degree fuel. That the only reason it's not burning is it doesn't have enough oxygen. It's going to burn when it comes out the door, and it may burn on top of you. So you better cool it down.
Right.
So all those things. The nice things about or some of the nice things that came out of the latest research showed that not only does it help to hit it from the outside, but then if you can go up to the window, if it's a ground level window, you can hit it from the outside and knock it down sufficiently that you have plenty of time to get inside. And I mean, you still need to go inside to put the fire out. These tactics they're solid. There's something everybody should be doing. It doesn't matter if there's only two of you there or if there's 22 of you there. You still should put water from the quickest way. And if it's through a window, do it. And there's not a lot of feedback and stuff, but I I do predict it's going to start. The when somebody falls through a roof that's burning, and they say, "What were you doing on the roof?" I was going to open up the roof. Why were you going to open up the roof? Well, I was going to. That's a dumb thing to do. If the public sees a hose line go past, flames coming out a window, and they stop on the stoop to force the door, and it takes any amount of time to do it, and then in fact the door doesn't go to where the fire is, it goes down a corridor somewhere, and the door, they're going to say, why did you wait so long to put water on the fire? So it's things have got so much easier. So much easier. You don't have to have a crew to go up on the roof. You don't have to go round to the back of the house so that you attack it from the unburned side. It's so much simpler, and but it's so different that it's just incredibly hard. Anybody who's fought fires for any amount of time, it's reversing polarity. You're like, well, wait, what? And that, but it works. And all of the research they've done when they control these things, it goes out. And the the idea that water going in a window is going to blow fire all through the house, it doesn't. Uh, the single most surprising concept to me was the amount of contraction that happens to the hot gases when they cool. So we know that one of the amazing stupid facts that every firefighter knows is that water expands 1,700 times when it turns to steam. And we could all rattle that off. Oh, 1,700 times. So it seems like a whole lot, and it is a whole lot. But what we weren't taught was that when gases contract, and smoke is a gas, when they cool, that is, they will contract. And the contraction is so much more pronounced than the expansion of the steam. So cooling a fire, putting water on a fire is a good idea. Putting air on a fire is a bad idea. So water's good, air is bad. Just one thing about PPV. I'm no expert on that, but from what I read of it, it works really well if you use it right. Just like anything, the uh, the studies that they showed, if you have an exhaust and you have you create a flow path, it increases the intensity, but it also blows most of the energy goes outside. So there's a lot of value in it. The state of Montana, which all of their SOPs, they're great to look at. If you ever look at Montana State Fire School, amazingly intelligent, simple stuff that is. They worked out SOPs for crews of 3 to 4 people, and they all of their attack plans are for single family ranch houses because that's what they found that 80% of their calls were. and uh, they with three people, they would go to the front door, force it, but control it. Go to the back door, make sure there is an exit. Come back to the front door, start the fan, and they had these things all set up in a sequence type of thing, and they could do it within 60 seconds. And they would go in with the air in their back. So PPV has a lot of value, but it it takes a lot of training, and we're probably like your department. We have fans on all of our apparatus, and they get used for overhaul. That's the it it takes a lot of training and commitment, and I'm that's a topic I haven't even addressed yet.
Right.